A Fox News alert now. A U.S. official telling Fox that the Gang of Eight has been briefed on that Chinese surveillance balloon hovering near critical U.S. military
Gilliam
sites.
joins us now with the latest. Good morning to you. So far we know the balloon has been floating in the area above Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, higher than commercial air traffic. And it's the size of 3 buses and includes a technology bay. You know, how did U.S. officials not catch this?
Well, I think that's the question out of all of this. I'm not really worried about whether or not they have the ability to jam this thing and its ability to capture whatever it's looking for. But how did it get over the United States? I mean, we can look at golf balls and see the dimples on golf balls from satellites. We can track meteorites moving at 50,000 miles per hour into the United States, but we don't have the ability to see a balloon that's moving slower than an airplane towards the United States before it even gets here. And it really makes you question, what is NORAD, the CIA, the NSA, all these people that we believe are able to look and see these things, Space Command, this brand new Space Command, why couldn't they have caught this? Because this is a national security blunder. It's not the first time, admittedly, that they're saying that this has happened. So how does it happen again?
So what's the story with this balloon that's flying over the United States that the United States government, military, NORAD, CIA, no one saw before it entered U.S. airspace? China has responded and said it's a Chinese balloon, but it's a civilian research vessel. They say it's flying about 60,000 feet above the ground, higher than a commercial aircraft can go. And from what the government says, they can see that it has technology on board. It looks like some kind of solar panels or whatever they have on there to collect the data that they're looking for. Well, what exactly are they looking for? And why is it hovering over Montana, over a military installation, the Malmstrom Air Force Base, where they have nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, and I'm assuming a lot of other top secret technology, and Biden is doing nothing about it? Of course, his boy Blinken was supposed to go to China and meet with the wonderful Chinese, but they postponed that because of this balloon that's flying around now. I find it very odd that the United States military, or whoever would have been in charge with watching U.S. airspace, no one saw this balloon in the sky before it came over into United States airspace. But they're just going to let it go. They're going to let it hover. They're going to let it take its photos and collect its data. And Biden was asked, why will he not shoot it down? And the answer that was given from the Pentagon makes sense to me, but they had the opportunity to do that when it was over the ocean. They don't want to do it now because whatever's connected to this thing probably weighs a ton. And when it comes crashing down to earth, God forbid, it hits a house, a school, a highway, and kills innocent people. But didn't they have the opportunity to light this thing up long before it was over areas that are populated? And did they really not see it? Or did they see it and they just let it go? What is happening to our country? And the so-called leaders of our country are letting the Chinese do whatever they want. They're allowing them to buy up millions and millions of acres of farmland, most of it around military installations, and the United States government isn't trying to stop it. They're letting them now fly what they're calling a spy balloon into U.S. airspace, and they're not doing anything about it. Apparently, this thing is as big as 3 buses, so you can imagine the size of it. But it's okay, apparently, that, because we all know Biden and the Chinese, I don't want to go out there too far on the limb, but we all know Hunter's involved with the Chinese, as he is in Ukraine. But they're going to allow a Chinese airship, if you will, to just hover over the United States for however long it wants and collect data over military installations. And that seems to be acceptable to the Biden White House and to the Biden Pentagon and the Biden CIA and whoever else would be in charge of monitoring this thing. Quite frankly, I find it a threat to the safety and security of the United States. We all know we can't trust the Chinese government. We all know that they would do anything they could to undermine what the United States does. And we know that the Chinese government knows Biden is weak, knows Biden is compromised, and knows Biden has no backbone. So they knew he wouldn't do anything about it. He wouldn't have it taken out of the sky before it hovered over populated areas. So now we just got to sit back and let this thing hover. And from Montana, who knows where it's going? Is it going to go over populated areas such as California? Right? Where's it going? And what's it doing? And what is it collecting? But the main question is why? Why is it being allowed? A communist country, a dangerous country like China, was allowed, although again, they call it a civilian research vessel, which in my opinion is bullshit. They're allowing this thing to stay in U.S. airspace and do whatever it wants to do. And whenever the Chinese are ready to bring it home, I'm sure they'll get on a computer and change its direction and bring it on home. But just think about how long it must have taken from China, Beijing probably, to get to the United States, to Montana, and it was never detected, or they want us to believe that they did not detect this. I quite frankly don't believe it, because I don't believe a word that comes out of the mouths of any Joe Biden official. We know he can't be trusted. We know his people can't be trusted because, quite frankly, I think they're afraid of the Chinese and they don't want to interfere with their civilian research. And that's disgusting. As an American, I'm disgusted that they are jeopardizing the safety and security of the citizens of the United States and letting an unmanned balloon hover over our country and collect data. And they will do nothing about it. So we're going to wait and see where this goes. But I think it's just another, hey, you know what? We got Biden's kid in our pocket. He's not going to do nothing. So we're going to put our balloon up and see what we can see over these critical military bases. And Sleepy Joe is going to sleep on it because he knows if he touches it, his kid is going to be in big trouble. And that's my opinion on the spy balloon. So stay tuned because I'm going to be looking into this a little more to see if I can find out more. But it's just unbelievable that today, in 2023, we have a so-called leader who is so spineless and is so compromised that he's allowing communist China to spy on American soil, and he will do nothing to stop it. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.